Hi, welcome to Turn Right Machine Works. My name is Keith. Today we have a lathe job, and we had a customer come in a couple days ago, and he had this I think it was 25 horse motor, and it's fully assembled, of course, and he's got it in the back of the car, and he's got this clutch out of a snowmobile, and he's playing around with a go-kart. And he's had some smaller go-karts and everything, and anyway, now he's getting into more of this off-road style go-karts. and he says, hey, can you put this taper, which this has a taper bore on it here, can you machine that taper on the crankshaft? And you know, if you're a machinist, you know that you can't just bolt down a motor and start whittling away on the end of a crankshaft sticking out of a motor. and I says, hey, I really need you to drop the crank out of there, bring it on in, and then I can go ahead and work the two pieces. And that's so I asked him, I says, go ahead and take the crank out and bring it on back, and then I can go ahead and help you out. And that's basically what we're going to be doing today. Is we are going to go ahead and first I got to set up and dial this compound in for this taper in the lathe, and we'll get started with that shortly. Then once I have that compound dialed in for cutting the taper, then we're going to go ahead and set up the crankshaft in there, and we'll cut that taper on there, and then we'll fit it. Then we're going to lob off the end of the shaft where it needs to be lobbed off, and then we're going to drill and tap for the draw bolt on this assembly. So let's get going. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get the female section of this taper. We want to be able to dial this taper in to duplicate it with our compound. We'll get this in here like that, and we want to roughly know what to set our compound. So we take our bevel protractor, set it up against that edge right there, tweak that in a little bit, and it looks like about 1.5 degrees, barely a taper. Okay, now we need to know which way we want our compound to be swiveled, like this, or in this direction here, even though they're both so slightly only a degree or a half off of there. But this crankshaft is going to be in the chuck here, and we're going to be over here in this area right here, and if we have this real close to our compound, sometimes it's hard to get in there, and I think we're going to have more room on this side here with the tool bit coming over. So we're going to pick this direction here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to dial this compound in, and we chose to have the handle over here versus having it over on the other side over there. And we know that we're basically going to be 1.5 off the 90, and oh, that's roughly right about there. Ever so slightly an angle. All we do is tension the one draw bolt on this side here. Now in the past, you saw this other quick little finger unit I put on the 1-inch travel indicators, and this button dial is also in the kit. Has got a similar reach in finger that lets you indicate, and that's what I'm going to use to indicate this bore. Okay, that looks good. And what we got on the dial down here is two and a quarter. Now we got the 4-jaw in here. We want to chuck up on a little diameter right there. And I'm just straight line eyeballing these chucks for right now in close. Now we got 45, 65, so we got about 20 that we got to come down here. So we're gonna okay, we're spinning on the money there. Now let's check our other diameter here. Within a half a thousandths. Should be tight there. Alright. 0 here, half a thousandths here. Let's just tighten this up a little bit, see if we get better. Well, stays the same, about a half a thousandths there, so we might have just a little bit of idiosyncrasy in the very tip of that. Alright, we're going to start skimming that right there. That was 10 thousandths cut there, and we're going to start establishing what our minor diameter is going to be when it's on there. We got 1 inch 155. Now we can't reach in there with our veneers here, so we're going to use a snap gauge, and we've dropped the snap gauge down in here at the bottom of the bore. And we got 1 inch 65, and this is 1 inch 165, 155. So we got about 90 thousandths to go there. something. We're not going to be able to check our fit because the shaft's not going to flow through the center of this here. So, we're going to have to make it the right size. Okay, our final cut. We're measuring 1 inch 85 here, and 1 inch 65 is the bottom of our hole. Actually, about half the diameter of this off the bottom, which is fine. The depth of that hole is 1.25 inches. That would be putting it up into here. And we have a little bit of room to play here, so we're going ahead and we're going to go for it. We're going to take the last 10 and dress up this surface just a little bit. Then we're going to go hack it off, and then we'll be able to check it in the bore. We can lap it from there, set this back up to be 0, and drill and tap the hole. Alright, let's go cut it and we'll check the taper fit. Okay, we cut off the end there. We had a little bit of a sideways cut on it, but there's no biggie. You know, I mean, we have a little spot there, but we got a good flat here. We'll be putting the thread in there. But the main importance is, hey, how did we do on our taper fit? I mean, no rocky. It actually locks on there pretty good. So there's no flies on that. So we're going to set it up, and now we're going to be holding it off of this end. We're going to dial this register in here, and we're going to center drill and drill that very easily, very carefully, with it hanging out here. See how the 1/2 inch bolt goes in here? Awesome. Alright, and taper. Alright, I don't want to tighten it on there because he's he's not going to want this on here tight. Alright, I mean, that's a simple job, and it's you know, just somebody playing around with a go-kart type of play toy, and hey, we were able to help him out, and you know, he's gonna see if his horsepower can pull this snowmobile pulley. Hey, whether it does or not, I have no idea, and he'll get that all assembled, and we'll find out how it works. Get her done.